Hey guys, it's Vadiozo back at another Dragoborne deck unboxing. So hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And let's get this one started. Today we have I forgot what this is called already. Reaper's Gift. A very interesting deck because it is, well, we'll get into the description later. So let's go ahead and get this one started. So I hope you guys enjoy and all the stuff. So this deck is actually very interesting because it is the start deck of 4, and a deck where both the living and dead serve a purpose. Make use of cycle and life and death to take initiative against your opponent. So, I like this game because I have test played it a bit before I started recording this one. In all honesty, I kind of like the two decks I've opened up already, and this one seems very interesting, being able to kind of fuck with the drop zone and stuff. If you know me, I like decks that can do combo plays, and this seems like a very interesting deck that can do a combo play with it, especially I like a lot of things with on-place effects, and I think this might be a deck with a lot of on-place effects. So already, if that's the case, then I might really like this deck. Followed by, I always like kind of fucking with the drop zone, bringing the stuff back, and then killing them and bringing them back, which is why Grand Blue is one of my favorite decks in Vanguard, because you can just do a bunch of fuckery with the deck. Now, if it wasn't with the constant milling, I would say Grand Blue would probably be one of the two decks I main, with the other one being Ezel, of course. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. It's another black focus deck, and our main decks for the main colors for this one, before I forget, is black, red, and blue. So we get more blue support. Unfortunately, blue doesn't have its own trial deck, and so doesn't yellow, which sucks a lot because that means they don't get their own aces in the trial deck wise, and black gets 2 and green ends up having 2 trial decks and red doesn't, which is really weird. It seems like they prioritized green and black over the other ones. I don't mind because green was one of my favorites, and then black is the rival of green, I guess, so it makes sense, but it's kind of disappointing. So we have our playmat, we have our promo. I keep forgetting we get promos from these. Our promo today is Bladehorn Charger, a cost 6/5/5 in terms of endurance and attack. Auto, when this creature is summoned, you may choose a creature and deal 4 damage to it, so an automatic just 4 damage by being placed. And auto red Dragon Cross, when this creature is destroyed, you may choose a creature and deal 5 damage to it. Jesus. So, pretty much Dragon Cross it, when it dies, they take 5 damage. This is actually really good. I mean, it may take a hot second to call it out to the board, but once it gets out, it's kind of really good. Sorry if the camera angle is really bad, by the way. I'm recording this at night. So, yeah, let's open up this little deck box here. I kind of can't wait to see what it looks like. So, we have our 3 dice, and I want to kind of pack these one at a time, and I already failed to do that. I'm keeping the deck box because I actually use those to hold my cards. We have our dice, and now, I don't know if Trial Deck 2 has them. I'm pretty sure they don't, but Trial Deck 3 and 1 definitely didn't have them, and Trial Deck 4 and 5 do have them, where the dice kind of look prismatic, honestly. I would take out one of my other dice from the other Trial Decks if I wasn't lazy enough, but pretty much, here's kind of what, if I just take the other deck, here's kind of what it looks like. You can see the dice, they're not really poking out as much. They're not 3D-ish. These ones are kind of really cool looking. They're really pop out. They're see-through somewhat. So I really like these dice. They're nice and cool, and I cannot wait to start playing with these. So let's put those to the side for now, and let's get this little white sleeve binder off of the deck because I don't need it. We also need to look at the back of the playmat, so we'll do that right now before I forget to do it later, and also because I have to refold this anyway, so yeah, maybe this is the one time I'm going to try to figure out how to fold these properly. Okay, let's see. I do this. So then that is a thing, and then I unfold it to where this, and this is not gonna, I'm not gonna remember how to do this, so hopefully the video caught it at least. We have our standard front look, and I almost put my eye out with that. We have our standard front look, and then we have our back look of Reaper's Gift. I hope you can see that. So, Reaper's Gift. As war rages on and the depths of hell are filled with the brim, the Reaper has decided to grant an unlucky few an opportunity for escape. Wouldn't you want to fight without the fear of an abrupt end in death? Of course you would, but everything has a cost. Reaper's Gift is an aggressive deck that uses unconventional tools to bypass the opponent's defenses. In addition, it utilizes an unorthodox way of bringing some of your said tools to bear against its opponent. So, pretty much a way to revive itself from the dead and just fuckery with the drop zone. So, Grand Blue Incarnate. So, let's go ahead and get the cards started with the reveals. Okay, first up we have our main card in Kazuki the Hell Beast. So he's a cost 5, 5 power, 6 endurance. Act Siphon 3, choose one of your other creatures and it gets plus 3 power and plus 3 endurance for this turn. And at the end of the turn, destroy it and put it at the fort it was in as rest. It does not trigger when creature is summoned abilities. So Siphon is the interesting ability where you can actually get rid of your opponent's, the amount of their dice. So pretty much, you see you choose one of your other creatures, you Siphon 3, which means I believe you siphon off your own cards for your dice, which means your dice that maybe has a 6 on it goes down to a 3. If it has a 5, it goes down to a 2, etc., etc. And, you know, one of your creatures gets a +3/+3 for the turn. So you unfortunately can't give it to himself unless you have another copy of it. And, you know, at the end of the turn, it dies, and then it gets moved to the fort it was in as rest. So, interesting enough. I like the thought about this card. And also, auto Black Dragon Cross. When this creature attacks and deals damage to a creature or a fort, draw a card for each of your creatures with a total attack or endurance of 8 or above. If you drew a card, discard a card from your hand. So a way to increase your hand a lot and a way to decrease your hand. Now, the funny part is, you just have to draw any number and you only have to discard 1, which means if you draw 3, then you only discard 1. So all around, I like that ability. Way to get multiple hand cards. Can be used in the first trial deck with Oath of Blood, I believe it's called, where you can just do an early rush, call this boy down, increase your boy's powers, and, you know, if they do surpass the 8, you get that draw, even though it's very doubtful, and if you don't, it doesn't really matter. So all around, I like this guy. Unfortunately, he's only a 2 of in this deck because they don't give us 4 staples back when Bushy made these trial decks, but hey, it's still a good card. Now we're on to blue support. I think blue got really good support in this, and unfortunately blue didn't get their own trial deck, so they didn't get good support in general, but they got something. So we have Nightbane Manticore, cost of 4, attack of 3, endurance of 3. Auto, when this creature is summoned, if you have a black or red creature, choose an opposing creature and rest it, and if that creature does not stand during the opponent's next stand step. So a way just to kind of paralyze or stop an opponent's creature from standing, pacify, paralyze, whatever it was in Buddy Fight, whatever you want to call it. It's just a way to stop a creature from standing, and all around that's really helpful, preventing rushes, and all you need is a red or a black creature, meaning it has to be a mixed deck, unfortunately, for this to go off. But it still works, and we get 4 copies of it, so a way to shut down stuff easily. I like it. Next up, we have the Servitor. Attack of 1, endurance of 2, cost of 3, so we have a 3/2/1 here. And then act, siphon 1 and rest this creature. Choose an opponent's creature, rest it, and draw a card. So basically, minus one of your dice by 1, so this 6 right here would become a 5, if I can, this 6 would become a 5, if I could find the 5, there we go, it becomes a 5, and you get to rest an opponent's creature, draw a card. So a way to kind of make their board be lost on defensive power. Yes, you lose a dice roll. Yes, you lose a dice percentage, but you still get a draw out of it. So I say this is really good, and I like this card because it can be used in any deck, really, and it's a 4 of. So we do have a staple. I did say before, like, they sometimes give us staples, and they do give us a staple here. In my opinion, this is a staple. Next up, we have Vanilla Tide Chaser Rogue, cost of 3, attack of 3, endurance of 4. You know, just standard vanilla, but he's a swinger for the 3, and if you combine him with Hell Beast, he becomes a 6/7 for the turn. So all around, I will take him. He's really nice, and we have a 4 of him, because why the hell not? Next up, we have the Gardener. We got a lot of blue support here, which is really nice, but unfortunately they didn't get really a main card. Cost of 2, attack of 1, endurance of 3, act, siphon blue 2, which means you have to pick your blue dice and siphon off 2 of it, so this 5 now becomes a 3, and it has to be the blue dice specifically. And look at the top card of your opponent's deck and put it at the top or bottom of their deck. It can only be used once per turn. So basically, fuck with their top deck, and that's all around really nice. I've always liked those abilities that kind of fucked with the opponent's deck, preventing them from making plays, or maybe just kind of seeing what they have next in store for you. So 2 copies. This is something I would actually put as a staple because A, it's not that hard to pull off. I mean, yes, if your deck is the type of deck that wants those high dice rolls, like if you're combining it with the thing from Alpha Dominance that requires 6 dice roll, then yeah, obviously your deck is really defensive and you want those high Drago shields, then yes, obviously these are not the cards for you. But if you're not going for that, I say go for the Siphon order because they work really well. Next up, we have Tide Chaser Grunt. Cost of 1, attack of 2, endurance of 1. Just a standard vanilla, but A, like I said earlier, you can combine this deck with Oath of Blood, get some early rushes out, really nice play. And I like him for that. So you can also combine this with Alpha Dominance with their blue support cards, and you get like a really good play out of it. Like all around, these trial decks are very splashable with each other, and if you give blue and yellow an actual boss monster per trial deck, they would actually probably work out pretty well because everyone would be balanced. I mean, not everyone, like they wouldn't be super balanced because black has 2 boss monsters and so does green, but you would at least, have everyone having a boss monster and everyone has really good staples, so that's a thing. And blue and yellow, I think I'm the more staples out of the group of having 4 ofs, and I accidentally dropped like half the deck. So next up we have Support Ambition, a cost 3 spell. Choose any number of your opponents and creatures with total attack or equal to the less than the value of one of your blue dice, rest them. Choose any number of your creatures with total attack equal to or less than the value of one of your blue dice and stand them. And Fort Burst, put this card into your discard pile, choose an opponent's creature, rest it, and draw a card. So pretty much Fort Burst, they lose another creature, so instead of them getting a last attack that might kill you, they don't get to do that attack and you get a draw out of it, and you can play it to basically increase your number of attacks that turn. So all around, I like this card, really interesting. 2 of, definitely one of my favorites because I like stand cards. I really do like the cards that allow for a possibility of an extra rush. Let me just make sure nothing got knocked out of order. We have Sabotage next, a cost 2 spell. As a part to play this, you got to Siphon X, X being 1 or more. Choose an opponent's dice and reduce its value by X. So, fair enough. And reference 1 to 2 for blue. Change the value of one of your dice to 6 and Siphon X as part of the cost instead. So, you may basically siphon whatever the hell you want. And so you take your blue dice, or you take any dice, right? Yeah, so for the first value, you can take any dice and then just reduce it by any number. So you can take your 6, so you can turn it into a 3, and then you just siphon 3 off an opponent's dice. Or you can just change the value of one of your dice to 6 and Siphon X as a part of it. So basically you get to reset it. So all around, I like this card. It's really nice, works really well with the Siphon ability, 2 copies. I do like the Siphon ability. It makes it fun because it allows fuckery with the dice on both player sides, and it kind of makes the game more interesting in my opinion. I mean, that might be just my opinion, especially because the game's dead, so not a lot of people maintain their opinion about this. Next up we have Hilda of the Gear Magnus. Cost of 4, attack and endurance are also 2 each. Auto, when this creature is summoned, deal 1 damage to it and this creature. So, deal 1 damage to it and this creature? What? Oh, when another creature is summoned. So, pretty much, when another creature is summoned, regardless of who summons it, both it and this are taking a damage, which sucks because this dies in 2 hits, but it's also a way to kind of weaken down the opponent's field during the turn that you do this. Some want to take it. And auto, red Dragocross, it gets +1 and +1. I mean, +1 power, but -1 shield. Interesting. I probably would never Dragocross this willingly because that would make it so that this dies in 1 hit. Then again, the Dragocross cancels it out because Dragocrosses always give them +1/+1, so I guess I would minus it out, cancel it out. And auto, Dragocross, when this creature attacks, deal 1 damage to all opposing creatures. Yeah, you just kind of wait for them to play down a bunch of creatures, then you kind of just swing with this and murder them all at once. All around, interesting card, cost of 4. I'd say this honestly works in Alpha Dominance the most because it gets that free kill, or maybe like a surprise card in the Shadow Oath deck just to kind of wipe out a bunch of things really quickly. Honestly though, I run this in any deck because it's just a quick field wiper just in case you need it. That being said, if you can set it up right. Next up we have Fervor and Battlesmith, cost of 2, attack of 2, endurance of 2. Auto, when this creature is red Dragocrossed, you can change the value of one of your dice to match one of your other red dice, or change the value of one of your red dice to match the value of one of your other dice. So pretty much dice fuckery. So you somewhat get more, if I can hold these, you somewhat get the ability to siphon off more because you can change the value of your dice, making it so you can siphon off a lot more really quicker. or you know, you can make more Draco shields or like better Draco shields. So all around, I like this boy. He can do a little bit of fuckery with defense and offense, so 2 copies. Next up, we have a Vanilla and Skivering Troop. Cost and attack are both 1 each, and its endurance is 2. Just a standard vanilla, nothing too special about him. But I do like him because he's really easy to call. There's no real reason not to run him because he's for free. I mean, yeah, obviously you would run him if you have more cards that aren't vanillas, but he's still a debatable card to run because he's so cheap. Next up, we have Titanic Force, a ambush card. Ambush of 2, you know, you just pay the cost, you pay 2 and then put it face down as an ambush. Auto when this 4 is attacked and this card is an ambush, choose a creature and deal damage to itself equal to its attack. So you can pick your own creature, you can pick your opponent's creature, it takes damage equal to its attack. I don't know why you pick your own creature, maybe just to make the attack whiff, or because like you can't kill the opponent's creature, you don't want to lose your creature. So maybe that's why you do it. In all honesty, I like this card. It does fuck with your field, followed by fucking with your opponent's field, so 4 of. So I forgot to mention, Kazrith the Hell Beast, this boy from earlier, because it kills cards, it can automatically activate on death effects. So that's always really nice that he can combo with later black cards. Speaking of black cards, we're on to the black portion of the deck. We have Cursed Eye Gargoyle, a cost 2, attack of 2, and endurance of 3. Auto when this creature is destroyed, each player discards a card from their hand. This thing is really annoying. Or like, from my experience of other games where they had cards that were just on death, each player discards a card. Yeah, I abuse the shit out of things like these. So, I might have like, yeah, forts when they die, you put stuff to hand. But if they're fort burst, then that's a different story. I can see me abusing the shit out of this, but unfortunately it's not a 4 of because, Bushy didn't want to make this fair and give me a broken card to abuse the shit out of. So 2 copies. Next up, we have Fender Bender. Cost of 2, attack of 2, endurance of 2. Auto when this creature is Black Draco crossed, you may change the value of one of your dice to match the value of your other black dice, or change the value of your black dice to match one of your other dice. So basically what the red card that does earlier, I forgot what his name was, but you did the exact same thing just with the red dice. So interesting, you can siphon off more, you can get better dragon shields, etc, etc. And we have 2 Fender Benders, just like we have the same number of copies of that 1 red card. Next up, we have Bewitching Stonegazer, or Medusa, but I'm pretty sure they would get copyright struck for that. Cost of 3, attack of 1, endurance of 3. Continuous, this creature gets +1/+0 for each of your red creatures, so it's a red combo card. So really nice. You can just shove this into like a 2 red purple deck, and she would probably get really strong really quickly. And Fort Burst, summon her. So just an immediate summon, which is really nice. It's really easy to summon. Her stats get really powerful really quickly, and I like her for this. And she is at a 4 of, so combo her really well with all red decks. Next up, we have Merciless Punisher, cost of 3, attack of 2, endurance of 2. Auto when this creature deals damage to a fort, you may siphon 6. If you do, choose one of your opponent's resources and destroy. What? Wait. Why did they put this in a trial deck at 4? What the fuck? Oh my god, they gave us a good staple. Holy shit. Well, you heard me right. If you have a dice that is at 6 and this deals damage to a fort, you can just say screw that dice, siphon it off, and then immediately kill a resource. That is really good because if you slow down even just one resource, it slows down their plays exponentially, especially if they're like a deck like Alpha Dominus where they run a lot of high power creatures and they're going for like beat down with a bunch of big powers. This thing slows them down so much, and I love this card, and it's really easy to pull off in the black decks because like they're the early rush guys, and you can combine this with Oath of Blood, and oh god, this becomes so fucking scary. 4 of, like, not even, like, I'm not even complaining about this, thank god, but she gave us the right idea. They gave us a really good card to run at 4. And then we have our banners. We have for blue, Ignitia of Olus. We have Standard of Tartarus for red. And we have Curse of Niflheim for black. So, this is an interesting deck. You got a decent amount of on-place abilities. You kill your own units. You fuck with your own dice to mess with the opponent's side of the field. We apparently have a resource killer, which I was not aware of until this moment. Before I opened all of these trial decks, I did read some of the cards. I didn't read all of them. Clearly, I didn't read all of them because I was not aware one of them could just murder resources out of nowhere and that I will abuse the shit out of that one. All around, he's very interesting, and I cannot wait to play it. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to check us out.